and that's going to be $20 a ticket, I think?
It's a suggested donation of $20.
Suggested donation of $20 a ticket. Suggested donation $20. Then we're going to have June 29th and June 30th. This is the gala event.
Right.
The gala event with the champagne reception. You're going to get an autographed copy of this original screenplay. Autographed copy. This is going to be worth a fortune down the road.
Nice, Mr. Carvin. I appreciate it.
But June 20, now that's more expensive. It's going to be $50 a person or $100 a couple.
Right.
So all of you looking for a fancy date. Now again, there's only 100 seats. These tickets are going to go very quickly. So I don't want to hear complaints. You weren't able to do it. Call the town. Get your reservations in early. May 27th, May 28th. June 29th, June 3rd. In fact, Bishop, put me down for 2 on the 29th. Put me down for 2 on the 29th.
First family.
Put me down for 2 on the 29th. In fact, actually, I might even get. But this is good. These are going to go quick.
It's called the First Family or First Business, and they will have a special place in the Rye Town booklet that you're going to put together.
Exactly.
And also in the program. And I just was saying, if you feel the way I do about it after you see it, I would like to make this an annual event at Rye Town Park. If we could find a theater space, as Goldie said, we've been looking for a theater space in this community since 1981, and we haven't been able to find one. So if we could find a little place to put this on every year, I think it might be a tourist attraction. I want you to reserve judgment and take a look at the production and see. It's educational. It would draw schools. It also would be, and it's entertaining.
For those of us who are fortunate enough to go to the kickoff and see the appetizer, it couldn't have been better. It's you ought to bring the kids. It's historical. It's contemporaneous. It's contemporary. It's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Have any more questions? Did I do under 5 minutes?
You're just perfect. 5 minutes. Thanks so much. Thank you. Now, I know there's 2 people that have come a long way today. First from the Attorney General's office is next up on the agenda, and then there's some people from Middletown, New York. We'll get you guys up next if that's okay. Sorry about that.
I will not take long because I know you're running late and you have a busy agenda, but I wanted to introduce myself and what my office does. My name is Judith McCarthy. I'm the Assistant Attorney General in charge of the Westchester Regional Office of the Attorney General's Office. The Westchester office covers Westchester, Rockland, and Putnam counties. And a lot of what people hear about the Attorney General's office is what they hear in the newspapers and the news, etc. And they don't know what our office can do actually for constituents and consumers in our area. So that's what I've been coming out to various village and town boards to let them know what we can do. So if constituents come to you with a problem that you can't help with, you know what we can do to refer. We have a mediation unit. I have attorneys that handle the defense of the state of New York. But the other thing we do is we have an outreach program where we come out to PTAs and the senior groups, and we'll talk about kind of smart safety for seniors, and we'll talk about internet safety for PTA groups, so we can come out, to myself or one of my investigators would come out and do that. But we also have a mediation unit staffed by both volunteers from our community who have been volunteering there for longer than I've been there, and who are the backbone to it. They'll answer the phones and direct you if it's not, they know all the resources, they'll direct you if we can't help. Otherwise, they'll send you a complaint, and then we mediate complaints. So we'll take complaints in from consumers regarding businesses in our area or not in our area, and we'll try to mediate them. And in 2009, we received over 1,800 complaints, and we got back over $650,000 in restitution for those consumers, and that's just our region. And those complaints can range from I didn't get my rent deposit check back to a senior group that's signed up for a trip, and the business that did it never gave them a trip nor gave them a refund back. Last year, when Fortunoff went out of business in White Plains, we started getting a lot of complaints from people who had gift cards that the liquidators were not honoring. We had specialists in the office that went into the bankruptcy court and negotiated with the liquidators so the gift cards would be honored. Shortly thereafter, they were not delivering furniture that they had in stock and on the the buses. The liquidator said we don't have to do that. We went back into bankruptcy court, and if the product was already, there, they were required to return it. So we do a variety of complaints, and if we can't handle it, we try to direct someone who can handle it. If it's not our office, we'll connect them to someone who can, and that's what a lot of people don't know about. And from those complaints, we can also, if we start seeing a pattern and practice against a business, we can bring a lawsuit against that business. And last year, we brought a case against AT&T for their gift cards and their failure to advertise, or their rebate cards, because people expected checks. And then they started getting these rebate cards, and we got $2.6 million back in kind of restitution to these individuals. So sometimes we can be very effective, but we can't help people if we don't hear from them. So that's why I come out to the various towns and villages to let them know what we can do. We also have a healthcare bureau. This is out of Albany, not out of my office. And the healthcare bureau is staffed with advocates who, if you're having a problem with your insurance or with your doctor or provider, you're either cut off and you don't think you should be, or something wasn't, honored and you thought it should be honored, or you keep getting a letter for your copay that you've paid already, and you've gotten your fifth Dunning letter saying, we're going to send you off to a collector. We have healthcare advocates that will advocate on your behalf, and their sole job is to try to help you with your healthcare needs, and they're based in Albany. And that's a great resource, and we can connect people who have those problems with the Albany office. So I don't want to take too much time, because I know, especially not if I'm in front of people who've traveled farther than I have. But if you have any quick questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Judith, how do we get in touch with your office?
I'll give you the general number. I can also leave you with my card. It's 914-422-8755. And if you call and say you've got a consumer complaint, we'll connect you with our consumer mediation unit.
Judith, what services do you offer to a municipality?
My office does not really offer service to municipalities. What can happen is the appeals and opinions. There's an informal opinion if asked by a town attorney. The formal opinions are only from agencies. So if there's an issue that you feel the Attorney General's office, you want an opinion on, an interpretation of the law, or stuff like that, the municipalities can request that from the appeals and opinions office. But what we try to do is level the playing field for consumers who don't have someone to advocate on their behalf. And when it's two businesses going against each other, we feel that the resources are such that they can advocate well on their own behalf. Also, the mediation unit comes from the executive law that allows us to actually go against businesses for deceptive practices. So although we can't represent individuals, we can mediate it because we want to see what the complaints are, because that's where we start seeing the pattern of practices that allow us to go against businesses for deceiving consumers.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, listen, I didn't know what your office did beforehand, and I wish more governmental entities would reach out and let us know. There's probably a whole host of services out there we're unaware of, so thank you so much for coming tonight.
And we're happy to refer you to those if we can help. So thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
going to leave us your cards, right, Judy?
Yeah.
Perhaps we could put a link on the webpage.
Thank you. Do you have a webpage, Judith?
Yes, if you go on the Attorney General's, is www. I think they have just changed it, but I'm going to give you the old one.
Okay.
Still get there. oag.state.ny.us. That's the main one, but I think it's now www.ag.ny.gov.
Okay.
Much shorter. But if you do Attorney General of the State of New York, you'll get the website. And
Thank you.
that has a wealth of resources for both consumers and charities and stuff like that.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Okay, Absolute Auctions.
Auctions International.
Auction. Oops, sorry. Okay.
Everyone, I'd like to introduce Eric Abrams.
Good evening.
Hi.
From Auctions International.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody have one of our books?
No less than
69.5, it's colder than that.
This is just this is basically just a PowerPoint of the catalog. So. We're not going to take a whole lot.
They must be right on top of you and stuff. You want me to put a high?
Basically,
Oh, yeah, if you can.
to give you a quick overview.
Thanks.
Passing this down.
First of all, thank you so much for coming tonight. I know it's just a long way for you.
All right.
To give you a brief overview.